Ah, oh. Mm. As we file in, just find a comfortable seat and get settled with the spine straight but not rigid, shoulders back. I'll repeat these as more people come into the room. What a lovely sunrise we've had this morning, and what a gift the rain has been this past week in the cloud cover. Thank you. Thank you for the rain and the clouds this week. My goodness. To have sub 100-degree days is such a joy. Maybe feeling into the body where you're feeling stiff from sleep. Just giving those parts some movement. Breathing into them as you move. Giving them some life, some blood, some warmth, some prana. We'll begin in just a moment. As you start to settle into your space, feel into your body. Going to use the Sam Harris trick here. You don't have to gradually slip into this. You can just come into it, to the entire field of sensations, emotions, thoughts, and awareness. Become instantly aware of all of it. Normally, I like the body scan method, but we're going to shake it up a little bit here. That's what death is all about, anyway. Mm. So just become aware of yourself in space. Feel the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose. Vary your practice in whichever way feels right today. You can do an ujjayi breath of constricting the nostrils and producing a sound on the in and the out breath. You can take very deep, full breaths, very active breaths. You can take very slow, intentional, strolling breaths, whatever feels right. There's nothing we're truly trying to do here. We're just trying to awaken to our true nature, become aware of how transitory and illusory what we think reality is, and in so doing, prepare ourselves for the moment of death so that we can treat it as any other moment and simply watch what happens. I think really one of the key teachings of meditation that so often gets lost is the being with everything. When we're introduced to meditation in the West, oftentimes we do it out of a sense of quieting the mind is a common one, stilling the mind, reducing stress or anxiety, which it can do with these things. But quieting the mind or stilling the mind is really not the goal. The goal is to be able to watch without getting caught up in all of the things that arise, like thoughts and like emotions, and seeing just how unstill your mind really is. So, with that in mind, as you continue your practice and feeling into your body and your field of sensation and witnessing the thoughts and witnessing the breath, simply just be with all of it. Is your mind chaotic and quirky and grasping? So it is. Is there something later on that you're worried about? So is there peace and equanimity in this moment? So let us just keep with our breath for a moment before we begin today's teaching from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. When we last left off, we were introduced to the nature of mind, qualities of its emanation, qualities of its formlessness, the qualities of its being, its reality, the essence of its being here, the three Buddha bodies of reality. The mind which we constantly seek, but it's always right there, searching for someone that's not there. A good analogy for this was there was recently a group of tourists traveling through the Southwest on a tour bus. And during one of the stops, one of the women of the group went and changed clothes and, thought nothing of this. Um, But when she returned, people were dismayed because they felt that there was someone that was missing. And the rumor started to spread of an Asian woman wearing dark clothes has gone missing. And she found herself also concerned for this woman as she joined the search party for herself, not knowing it was she that they were looking for. And they looked for quite some time. They looked for the entire day and into the night before she finally realized that the woman in the dark clothes was her and that she had changed. And in much the same way, this is what we're looking for when we're meditating. If looking for something is indeed what we're doing, which I often find that I do. uh, and with that, you can keep the eyes closed. You can rest them open, but keep a soft gaze if you do. We'll now turn to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Intrinsic awareness as view, meditation, conduct, and result. Ima, this immediate awareness, insubstantial and radiant, is itself the highest of all views. This non-referential, all-encompassing awareness, which is free in every respect, is itself the highest of all meditations. This uncontrived activity based on awareness, simply expressed in worldly terms, is itself the highest of all types of conduct. This unsought attainment of awareness, spontaneously present from the beginning, is itself the highest of all results. The four great media, which are errorless, are presented. First, the great medium of errorless view is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is radiant and without error, it is called a medium. Second, the great medium of errorless meditation is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is radiant and without error, it is called a medium. Third, the great medium of errorless conduct is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is radiant and without error, it is called a medium. Fourth, the great medium of errorless result is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is radiant and without error, it is called a medium. Now the four great nails, which are unchanging, are presented. First, the great nail of the unchanging view is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is firm throughout the three times, it is called a nail. Second, the great nail of unchanging meditation is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is firm throughout the three times, it is called a nail. Third, the great nail of unchanging conduct is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is firm throughout the three times, it is called a nail. And fourth, the great nail of the unchanging result is this radiant, immediate awareness. Since it is firm throughout the three times, it is called a nail. Now follows the esoteric instruction which reveals the three times to be one. Abandon your notions of the past without attributing a temporal sequence. Cut off your mental associations regarding the future without anticipation. Rest in a spacious modality without clinging to the thoughts of the present. Do not meditate at all, since there is nothing upon which to meditate. Instead, revelation will come through undistracted mindfulness, since there is nothing by which you can be distracted. Nakedly observe all that arises in this modality, which is without meditation and without distraction. When this experience arises, intrinsically aware, naturally cognizant, naturally radiant and clear, it is called the mind of enlightenment. Since within this mind of enlightenment there is nothing upon which to meditate. This modality transcends all objects of knowledge. Since within this mind of enlightenment there are no distractions, it is the radiance of the essence itself. This Buddha body of reality, union of radiance and emptiness, in which the duality of appearance and emptiness is naturally liberated, becomes manifest in this way, unattained by the structured path to Buddhahood, and thus Vajrasattva is actually perceived at this moment. Now follows the instructions, which brings one to the point where the six extreme perspectives are exhausted. Though there is a vast plethora of discordant views within this intrinsic awareness or single nature of mind, which is the naturally originating pristine cognition, there is no duality between the object viewed and the observer. Without focusing on the view, search for the observer. Though one searches for this observer, none will be found. So at that instant, one will be brought to the exhaustion point of the view. At that very moment, one will encounter the innermost boundary of the view. Since there is no object at all to be observed, and since one has not fallen into a primordial vacuous emptiness, the lucid awareness which is now present is itself the view of the great perfection. Here, there is no duality between realization and lack of realization. Though there is a vast plethora of discordant meditations within this intrinsic awareness, which penetrates ordinary consciousness to the core, there is no duality between the object of meditation and the meditator. Without meditating on the object of meditation, search for the meditator. Though one searches for this meditator, none will be found. So at that instant, one will be brought to the exhaustion point of meditation. At that very moment, one will encounter the innermost boundary of meditation. Since there is no object at all on which to meditate, and since one has not fallen under the sway of delusion, drowsiness, or agitation, the lucid, uncontrived awareness which is now present is itself the uncontrived meditative equipoise or concentration. Here there is no duality between abiding and not abiding. Though there is a vast plethora of discordant modes of conduct, within this intrinsic awareness, which is the unique seminal point of pristine cognition, there is no duality between the action and the actor. Without focusing on the action, search for the actor. Though one searches for this actor, none will be found. So at that instant, one will be brought to the exhaustion point of conduct. At that very moment, one will encounter the innermost boundary of conduct. Since from the beginning there has been no conduct to undertake, and since one has not fallen under the sway of bewildering propensities, the lucid, uncontrived awareness which is now present is itself pure conduct without having to be contrived, modified, accepted, or rejected. Here, there is no duality between purity and impurity, though there is a vast plethora of discordant results. Within this intrinsic awareness, which is the true nature of mind, the spontaneous presence of the three Buddha bodies, there is no duality between the object of attainment and the attainer. Without focusing on the attainment of the result, search for the attainer. Though one searches for this attainer, none will be found. So at that instant, one will be brought to the exhaustion point of the result. At that very moment, one will encounter the innermost boundary of the result. Since whatever the projected result, there is nothing to be attained. And since one has not fallen under the sway of rejection and acceptance, or hope and doubt, the naturally radiant awareness, which is now spontaneously present, is the fully manifest realization of the three Buddha bodies within oneself. Here, there is the result, atemporal Buddhahood. So our view and perspective, our practice of meditation, our conduct, and the results to which we aspire or flee from is the focus of our work today. There's a reason why they call these teachings esoteric. There are no results to be attained. There's no conduct to be conducted. There is nothing upon which to meditate. The object perceived and the awareness of the perceiver are the same. And what feels linked in all of this is the story I told prior to beginning this teaching today about the woman who found herself in a furious search party for herself. And there's a little light in me that went off when I realized this, because I didn't read this teaching before now. I didn't plan any of this. Yet it was the perfect little koan story to complement this teaching. And at the same time, it's also simply the nature. And our conduct and views. Now, our conduct and our results, the results that we aim for and the results that we run from, they seem poignant to elucidate further, because it is so often our conduct and the results that we either do or do not attain, or do attain but we'd rather not, that give us a great deal of trouble and suffering. The only elaboration I can make on this is that these are to be accepted as manifestations of our own mind, that are showing us how we construct the world. And my only other instruction is to come down into the chest and into the body and feel the heart. Feeling this magnificent center of radiant energy in the center of our chests. The piece of us that unites the lower and the higher drives. Beneath the heart, our will to power, our needs for consumption, the burgeoning of our creative sexual energy, and the foundations of our feet upon the earth. It is that thing that ties those to the voice, to the third eye, and to the crown, which are all concerned with being in the world and with reaching towards superconscious energies. And so, to close our meditation today, let's take a moment to focus on each one of these centers in our body, beginning with the root, beginning with the bottoms of our feet. You can simply bring your awareness to this space and the space surrounding them. As we move up, you may wish to put your hands on these various centers. Beginning with the feet, may we act in such a way that is in accordance with the highest will while maintaining our feet upon the ground. May we solidify the virtues of patience, perseverance, and unperturbability. Coming up to the sexual center, where our gonads and genitals are. May this powerful force of creative energy be used for the enlightenment of all beings. May it be shared in love. May it rise up through our bodies into the rest. May it rise up and meet spirit high above us and connect earth and sky. And in our mesenchymal center, in the guts, may we take in all the ways in which we need to be nourished, and none in the ways that we don't. May we be discerning in what we need and ask for it without envy, without anger, without expectation. And may we reject whatever is not needed or which will not nurture the highest good within us. Moving to our solar plexus, may we exercise our power in such a way that it is for the benefit of all beings. May we stand forthrightly. May we not lord our power over others, but help them to see the power within themselves. To the heart, may we open and expand our being. May we share an experience with all life. May we not be closed. Let the joys of our brothers and sisters be our joys. Let their sufferings be our sufferings. Let our joys be their joys. Let our sufferings be their sufferings. To the throat, may I speak with the divine voice of kings. May I speak when I have something to say. When there is a silence that must be filled. May I use my voice for the enlightenment, for the benefit, and for the joy of all beings. To our third eye, may we perceive clearly. May we not be deluded by what our other eyes tell us, but see behind that which is projected, and recognizing the true nature of appearances. May we perceive truth in all of its dimensions. Finally, several inches above your head, somewhere around here, the ka, the crown. May our being be open to the influx of spiritual and superconscious energy. May we rise to meet this divine force, and may this divine force flood down into us. May we awaken to the fact that we are this energy in this form for now. Thank you all so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to host these Wednesday morning meditations. I hope that this can give you a center of ground to move throughout life and throughout the day. Everyone, take care. See you next week.